Welcome to this video on the worst human-caused disasters that have happened in North America. Unfortunately, history is filled with examples of man-made disasters, which have resulted in devastating consequences for both the environment and human populations. Let's start with the nuclear disaster that occurred at 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania in 1979. The accident occurred when a nuclear reactor experienced a partial meltdown, releasing radioactive gases into the atmosphere. While no one died as a direct result of the accident, the incident had long-lasting effects on the surrounding environment and public trust in the safety of nuclear power. Another example of a human-caused disaster is the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, which occurred in 2010 in the Gulf of Mexico. This incident saw an explosion on an offshore oil rig, which resulted in the release of millions of gallons of crude oil into the ocean. The spill had significant impacts on marine life, fishing industries, and local communities, and it was one of the largest oil spills in history. Moving on to the topic of industrial accidents, the Bhopal gas tragedy is one of the worst disasters of its kind. The incident occurred in 1984, in Bhopal, India, when a pesticide plant experienced a leak of toxic gas. The disaster claimed thousands of lives, and many more were affected by long-term health problems. Closer to home, the Love Canal disaster in Niagara Falls, New York, occurred in the 1970s when toxic waste was dumped into an abandoned canal. The waste caused widespread environmental contamination, leading to birth defects and other health problems in the surrounding community. The Chernobyl disaster in 1986 is another example of a man-made catastrophe. The incident occurred in Ukraine when a nuclear reactor exploded, releasing massive amounts of radiation into the atmosphere. The disaster claimed thousands of lives and had long-lasting impacts on both the environment and public health. Lastly, we can't talk about human-caused disasters without mentioning the 9/11 attacks in New York City. The terrorist attack claimed thousands of lives and had far-reaching effects on global politics and international relations. The first event we will discuss is the Dust Bowl. This environmental disaster occurred in the 1930s in the Great Plains region of the United States, where a combination of drought, high winds, and unsustainable farming practices resulted in massive dust storms that devastated crops and led to widespread environmental damage. The Dust Bowl had a significant impact on the economy and people's lives, forcing many to migrate in search of work. Another significant environmental disaster is the ongoing water crisis in Flint, Michigan. In 2014, the city's water source was switched from Lake Huron to the Flint River, which had high levels of lead and other contaminants. The crisis resulted in a public health emergency, with many residents exposed to unsafe levels of lead, and it has had long-lasting impacts on the community. Another environmental disaster that we will discuss is the ongoing wildfires in California. Climate change, combined with drought conditions and human-caused ignitions, has led to larger and more frequent wildfires in recent years. The fires have had devastating effects on ecosystems, communities, and the economy. Lastly, we cannot forget the devastating effects of Hurricane Katrina, which struck the Gulf Coast region in 2005. The hurricane caused significant damage to the environment, infrastructure, and human populations, with a death toll of over 1,800 people. The first event we will discuss is the 1918 influenza pandemic, which is also known as the Spanish flu. The pandemic infected an estimated 500 million people worldwide, with an estimated death toll of 50 million people, making it one of the deadliest pandemics in history. The pandemic had significant impacts on the economy, public health systems, and society. Next, we have the HIV/AIDS epidemic, which emerged in the 1980s and continues to affect millions of people worldwide. The epidemic has had a profound impact on public health and society, particularly among marginalized communities. While significant progress has been made in treatment and prevention, there is still much work to be done to address the ongoing impacts of HIV/AIDS. Another significant public health disaster is the opioid epidemic, which began in the late 1990s and continues to affect millions of people in North America. The epidemic has had a significant impact on public health and society, with an estimated 130 people dying every day in the United States from opioid-related overdoses. In 2014, the Ebola outbreak occurred in West Africa, which resulted in a public health emergency with significant impacts on human populations. The outbreak infected over 28,000 people and resulted in over 11,000 deaths. The outbreak highlighted the need for strong public health systems and effective global health governance. The COVID-19 pandemic, which began in 2019, is the most recent public health disaster that has affected North America and the world. The pandemic has infected millions of people and resulted in significant impacts on public health, the economy, and society. The pandemic has highlighted the importance of strong public health systems, global cooperation, and individual responsibility in addressing public health emergencies. The first event we will discuss is the Halifax explosion, which occurred on December 6, 1917. Two ships collided in Halifax Harbor, one of which was carrying explosives. The resulting explosion caused significant damage to the city, with an estimated 2,000 people killed and over 9,000 injured. Another significant transportation disaster is the 1956 Grand Canyon mid-air collision. Two commercial airplanes collided over the Grand Canyon, resulting in the deaths of all 128 passengers and crew members. The disaster led to significant improvements in air traffic control systems and safety regulations. Another significant disaster was the San Francisco earthquake of 1906. The earthquake, which occurred on April 18, 1906, had a magnitude of 7.8 and resulted in significant damage to the city. The earthquake and subsequent fires claimed an estimated 3,000 lives and left thousands more homeless. The Challenger space shuttle disaster of 1986 was another significant event in North American history. The Space Shuttle Challenger exploded just seconds after liftoff, resulting in the deaths of all 7 crew members. The disaster led to a suspension of the Space Shuttle program and a re-evaluation of the safety protocols for space travel. Let's start by looking at the impact of fast food on obesity rates in North America. According to the World Health Organization, obesity has more than tripled worldwide since 1975. In North America, approximately 40% of adults are considered obese. Studies have shown a clear correlation between fast food consumption and weight gain. Fast food is high in calories, fat, sugar, and sodium, and regular consumption can lead to overeating and unhealthy weight gain. The negative impact of fast food on heart health is also significant. Fast food is often high in trans fats and saturated fats, which can lead to high cholesterol levels and increase the risk of heart disease. In addition, fast food is often low in fiber, which is essential for maintaining healthy cholesterol levels and preventing heart disease. Diabetes is another health concern associated with fast food consumption. Fast food is high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, which can cause blood sugar levels to spike and lead to insulin resistance over time. This can increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, which is a growing health concern in North America. It's not just the nutritional content of fast food that's concerning. The portion sizes are often larger than what's recommended for a healthy diet. Many fast food meals exceed the recommended daily calorie intake, making it difficult to maintain a healthy weight and overall health. The convenience and low cost of fast food have made it a popular choice for many North Americans. However, it's essential to consider the long-term effects of fast food consumption on health. A diet that's high in fast food can lead to a range of negative health outcomes, including obesity, heart disease, and diabetes.